Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fableheimr, the Shenanigans playthrough here in Mistover, and the epic climax. My friends, my colleagues, thank you for sticking through with me for so very long. Through how many playthroughs now? This is the third playthrough that we have yet to defeat. We haven't seen the Great One being owned. We are here on the precipice of the end, and we're doing it together. You and me. It's been a long time coming. The Great One has deserved to die for many videos. But at long last, we are going to take our shot at killing him. If you saw the last video, you'll know that we are fully fully prepared. And prepared, I suppose. I kept on our augmentations to the gameplay settings, which means I can see everything. I am omniscient. As you can see, there is no fog of war in the video game. And we have no doomsday penalty because everyone except for Lerhi is level 20. And I just didn't want to deal with it. Now, my expectation here is that we're done. So I'm not all that concerned about these chests and enemies and things. My goal here is to get to the boss, try and cheese it a little bit, and smack the boss. The only difference we've made from the last episode is that, is that good old Dara is wearing our one ring of power to bind them. That's not how the saying goes. It's very long, but I don't remember it all. But he's wearing the one ring of power because he is our single target DPS, and the plan is going to be with good old Masamune. We're going to be using Strike on our first move. This will brand the target, and then we will be spamming Strike on it using Dara to maximize our potential. We also have an enemy here that we want to drag to the boss if we can. Perfect. It doesn't get any better than this. And because I'm scared, because this is the final fight, I brought plenty of materials. I brought some seeds, because why not? 5 bandages, 10 power drinks, 10 potions, and 4 food in case I got lost, which honestly might have happened. Now remember, this boss is rude, so he will be purging all of our buffs the moment he can. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a turn 1 sort of thing. So our goal is to just outspeed it using the power drinks here. So everyone will go on the first turn, and then he will purge all of our buffs. And then if time allows, which it might not, we can go ahead and reapply those buffs. I'm even going to give them to Lerhi, because more attack equals more healing, more speed equals more applications of whatchamacallits. I'm even going to give it to Heisei, because we're all in. I'm actually just going to apply this muscle amulet, and then we're going to go, because I don't want this guy to do anything too cheeky. So, boss is dead. We have all applied all of our buffs. We have plus 95% attack on our main characters. Heisei's running a little low on mana. Well, 78%. He's like 3/4 still. But we are going in to fight the final boss of Mistover, the Great One, who we have once seen and fled from. And I am shaking a little bit, not gonna lie. Here he is, the Great One, the consciousness of the Great God. Now my question is, do I increase our hit or do I increase our attack? That is the real question here. We're going to go with attack because we're going all in. 130% turn 1. We could go ahead and Laplaces here. That might be the intelligent thing to do. or we can attack for a bunch of damage. And everyone knows me, we're going to attack for a bunch of damage. There's the strike as promised, the brand is applied for... Oh, I feel like we just broke some breakpoint. Somewhere along my preparations, we broke a breakpoint. Okay, well, that went well. No need to shake. Time for some Mistover lore. You manage to defeat the god. Not much of a god, really. As he falls to the ground, he begins to fade away and gradually vanishes. But make no mistake, even if he has disappeared from this dream, he is still alive elsewhere. Nevertheless, what is certain is that you have prevented the end of this world. The mist has cleared, and the great vortex in the distance has also disappeared. There is no way of knowing whether the cycle of destruction and recreation has completely broken. It is possible that you have merely postponed the world's destruction. If the threat of the world's end ever returns, we will have no choice but to face it again. Your adventure is over, at least for now, but you never know what the future holds. DLC, DLC, DLC. Well, we did it. My friends, it's been 3 playthroughs. First time on normal, I don't even remember what happened. We were in the cathedral ruins, and we lost our characters that were pretty important to me because I was not prepared for the black goats. They're stunning, they're like cross-stun ability. I was not prepared in the slightest because I went in completely blind and I had no idea what I was doing. And yeah. Then, after a bit of I did a video asking what you guys wanted to see, and people were very excited for me to go into hard mode, so we went into hard mode, and we actually had some success using the Grim Reaper strategy, where we basically lean all in on the Grim Reaper and using her ability to reduce enemy hit chance, so that we just infinitely evade. That was a lot of fun, but we died in the frozen mountains. Satu was lost to an unlucky crit, or lucky crit if you're the monster. And I asked once again, what would you like to see? Would you like to see the hard playthrough continue, or would you like to see a little bit of a more fun-ish normal playthrough using everything that I've learned? And that is what gave birth to the Shenanigans playthrough, which began as us just trying out things that we've never used before, such as bleeding abilities, which suck. Still kind of questionable, even though the changes to the earlier bosses do help them out. But remember, the Great One and the Elder Emperor are still immune to bleeding. So in the long scheme of things, I still think bleeding is bad. I really do. But we also used the Witch, which we had never used before, and I fell in love with Rune. Nothing can fill the void of Satu, but she came pretty damn close. And we also used the Omyaji, which I avoided, even though he's good. We found out just how good he was. The mental amulet is literally game-breaking. And, yeah. I love it. I fell in love with almost every single character. I think if I had to pick one that was my least favorite, it would be Dara, the werewolf. The werewolf is a very straightforward character. He punches things really hard. That's it. It's kind of dull and one-dimensional. But the werewolf does have a lot of potential for like support utility if you design him that way. It's just that whenever it came to brands, which is what he's best at removing, I kind of just ate them. But I didn't care. We just powered our way through. And the Ronin, of course, is my greatest love of all time. Probably my favorite class in the game. which is hilarious because when the very first thing I did for Mistover was I did a deep dive of every single class where I went through. It was very boring and very dull, but I went through every single ability that the class had, and they've changed a few since then. But my initial impressions of the Ronin were absolutely awful. Just terrible. But then someone had left a comment. That video never made it to the internet, thankfully, because the internet is forever. Someone left a comment saying to look at the Ronin because they were a lot of fun. And I thankfully did. I thankfully tried out the Ronin myself. I remade the video just because of how convinced I was that the Ronin was amazing. And guess what he is? After all of the voice actors and special thanks, it looks like we are coming to an end of the credits. Just kidding. I mean, it might be. Special thanks is usually the last thanks, right? And maybe it's the first thanks. So I'll keep talking. Why not? Just kidding, it's the end. So what do we got for the end? What do you got for us, Team IMO, as my phone goes off? Is this just the intro? I actually don't think I've ever shown this. So I'll shut up for now. It's Koshé. Well, and there it is. We're back to the beginning. Wow. It's been a journey. Thank you all from the deepest cockles of my heart. I wanted to use that word, I don't know why. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed our... How would I even put this? Our experience, our examination of Mistover inside and out. I feel like I'm a Mistover expert at this point. I have played so much of this game. I have achievements that are like 1% of the owners have. Steam tells you that now. And it makes me feel special. One of them is like to collect 500 pieces of equipment. And I kind of felt bad that most of those weapons were sacrificed to create a one ring of power, but don't mind that. If you're curious, what's next for Fableheimr? I will return to Mistover when DLC comes out. As I mentioned in the previous episode, I'm pretty sure it's coming. There are Steam achievements that you can look at regarding a person named Dr. Faust, who we did not encounter in any of our playthroughs, and I believe to be DLC related. And there have been devs on the Steam forums that have mentioned DLC before in the past, like the accessory drop bug was related to the DLC somehow. I don't know how, and I'm a little afraid to learn how, but, you know, it was. So aside from that, what's coming next is Mistover will be replaced by... Sorry, I don't want to see this again. Mistover will be replaced by Eratus, Lord of the Dead. It is another dungeon crawler like this. It is a grim, dark dungeon crawler, even darker than Mistover. Very similar, actually, to Darkest Dungeons. However, instead of playing as the heroes, trying to figure out the whole Cthulhu shenanigans, you are playing as the villain, trying to resurrect himself, the Grand Necromancer, trying to once again gain his foothold in the world and bring an end to all living things. And that theme drew me in, but I was kind of on the fence on it. It is still in early access, so I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to take the dive and go in, but I actually had a subscriber leave a comment about Eratus. And after their comment, I was sold. I bought it. I even bought the little supporter thing, so I have some special skins in the early access to the Infested class. It's been good fun. I finished the tutorial, so we'll be able to go in to more pain, which I guess is like their hard mode, they have 2 more higher difficulties because it's supposed to be a brutally difficult game. So I'll be able to go into more pain very soon. We'll go in it together. Again, I've seen nothing about it except the tutorial, so hopefully I can provide just a small amount of information and we can go in with our foot on steady grounding and get absolutely rocked. Because that's what's fun about these strategy games. So I hope that you look forward to that. I hope that you stick around. There's plenty coming in the future of Fableheimr besides that. Another cutscene skip. So once again, if you've made it this far, if you followed our journey, if you enjoyed the Shenanigans playthrough, the hard playthrough, and our blind playthrough, thank you. And I hope, truly hope, that you had a great time. Thank you for sharing your precious time with me. I know I said thank you a lot, but I really do mean it. This game meant a lot to me. It still means a lot to me. And hopefully moving forward, we can just have more amazing, shenanigan-filled adventures together. Until next time, bye-bye.